Welcome to my third grade classroom. My name is Miss Robinson and I teach third grade math in HISD. Today we're going to be talking about one of the first things we always do every school year and one of the most important things to talk about at the beginning of the school year, and that is place value. So let's go over the objective together. I can compose and decompose numbers up to 100,000 by using base 10 blocks and pictorial form. Let's go over it again. I'm going to read it one more time with you and then we're going to take it apart. I can compose and decompose numbers up to 100,000 by using base 10 blocks and pictorial form. So we're going to be composing and decomposing numbers up to 100,000. I want you to say that with me. 100,000. Again, 100,000. Okay, now you try it by yourself. Say 100,000 by yourself this time. Good job. Numbers up to 100,000 by using base 10 blocks and pictorial form. So that's what we're going to be using today. So now what we're going to start with first is we're going to kind of go back to the basics of what base 10 blocks are. I'm going to give you a few minutes and I want you to think about what are base 10 blocks? What do you remember about them? When did you use them? I'm going to give you about a minute to think about that. Excellent. So, some things we might have thought about is we definitely use them during place value. So I have a few base 10 blocks we're going to go over together. First, I'm going to get a chart for us to use. So here's our chart. We're going to talk about this one first. If we think back to second and first grade, and we think about what this one was called. What was this base 10 block called? This is called a unit. I'm going to use this tape so we can have it on our chart with us. This base 10 block was called a unit. So, I'm going to a unit. Now this one. Let's use our prior knowledge. Do we remember what this one was called? This is called a rod. This is our rod. This might be a harder one to remember. This is what we call our flat. Our flat. And last one for today is this. This might be new to us. The others we've seen in second grade, and we might have gone over this a little bit in second grade, but probably not a whole lot. We use it a lot more in third grade and in fourth grade. This is what we call the thousands unit. Thousands unit. I'm going to put a lot of tape on this one to make sure it stays good. Tape. This is our, I'm going to write TH for 1,000 unit. Excellent. So now what we're going to look at is the value of each of these. So we have our unit. For today, we're going to say the value of our unit is 1. We're going to say that might change another day, but for today, since we're introducing this stuff, we're going to say the value is 1. Now, what I want to do is I want to see how many of these units can fit into a rod. So I'm just going to put them there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're almost there. 8, 9. Looks like I can fit about 1 more. 10. So look, 10 of these units is 1 rod. So if I'm skip counting by ones, let's skip count by ones to see how much that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's going to be a value of 10. So the value of the rod is 10. I'm going to take these down so we know that we only have 10. Now I want to see how many of these rods or tens can fit into a flat. Get a piece of tape for this. I'm just going to put it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Make sure they're lined up. 8, 9. It looks almost there, but one more can fit. 10. Look, exactly 10 of the rods equals one flat. That's okay, I can pick those up later. So we know one flat is 10 rods. And if each rod is worth 10, I can skip count by 10 for each of these lines. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And I stop after I skip count 10 times. So the flat has a value of 100. The flat has a value of 100. So now we're going to go over one more. I want to know how much this 1,000 unit is going to have a value of. I am going to give you guys a few seconds to make a prediction. What do you think it's going to have a value of? And I want you to think, why do you think that? What evidence do you have from what we've done so far that makes you think that? Well, let's see if your predictions are correct. I'm going to use my flats, which each are worth 100, to see how many of them can fit. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put 5 in and see. Does 5 fit? Not quite. If I put it on top, it's going to fall though. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, almost there, 9, 10. Look, 10 fits perfectly. So we know we have 10 flats to equal the 1,000 unit. So let's skip count by 100 for each of these. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. What's after 900 is 1,000. So we have a value of 1,000 for the 1,000 unit. You might have thought that because of the name. I'm going to write 1,000. With anything in the thousands place, I need to make sure I put that comma between the 100 and the 1,000. 1,000. Now, we're going to come back to this in a little bit, but first I want to go over a few other things. We're going to start with our place value chart. I just don't want to cover this part up. So we have our place value chart. I want you to look at this chart and I want you to see what looks familiar and similar from what we have seen in second grade. And I want you to think what looks new or different or something you're not familiar with. I want you to think about that. You can talk about it with someone sitting next to you. You can write it down, whatever is available for you. All right, some things we might say is new or unfamiliar to us is I see this little dot right here. I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. I'm not used to that. I might recognize this comma. We used it earlier today, and we probably used it in second grade too. I know what place value is. I learned about it in second and first grade. These are all very, very good points. So first, I just want to address this. This little dot is called a decimal. We don't learn about it in third grade, but it's really good for us to know where it goes. So I have it there so we can see what it's going to look like for when we do go to fourth grade and we learn about decimals. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to go over the place values we should know. We always start after the decimal point with our ones place. So I'm going to write my ones place right here. Have our ones place. Ones place. Just gonna write over it so we can see it really, really well. Our ones place. And then after our ones place, we go to our tens place. This is our tens place. Then after our tens place, we have our hundreds place. Our hundreds place. And then after our hundreds place, we have our thousands place. Our thousands place. We have 2 more places. We're going to go over those another day. I just want to look at these. Above these, I'm going to write the abbreviation I usually write whenever I'm using a place value chart so I know what I'm looking at. I use an O for the ones place, a T for the tens place, an H for the hundreds place, and a TH for the thousands place. Because to me that's easier than writing out ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, but I still want to write something so I remember that I'm doing it correctly and in the right place. So this is just a reminder of our place value chart. I like to go over it all the time. I go over it all the time in my class. You can ask all my previous third graders, even at the end of the year, we're going over and using our place value chart because that helps us. It helps us remember where things go. So now I want to go over a little bit of vocabulary. We've gone over a lot of stuff today so far. We've reviewed a lot of stuff. But what I need to know is I need to make sure before I can do practice problems, I need to know that I know the vocabulary for it. So I have my place value vocabulary. So the first word I want to go over today is compose. And compose means to put together a number. In math, we use it to put together a number. So I'm just going to say to put together, right? We're making something together. Put together. So if compose means we're putting something together, I want us to think, what could this word decomposing. Think about science. Think about science. Think about think about science. Think about how we learned what compose means to put together. I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds to think, what do you think decompose might mean for math? Decompose means we're going to take it apart or break it apart. It's to take apart. And this last word we're gonna go over is pictorial. Okay. That word pictorial. We saw it in our objective. We saw all three of these words in our objective. Pictorial sound is something that it sounds just like. It's just using a picture to represent it. So it's when we use a picture. Using a picture. I'm just going to leave this here for a second to see if you guys need to look over it or anything. So now we're going to go back to this chart we started. Look, we have a column for pictorial. So all we're going to do right now is we're going to go over the different ways to represent a number using pictorial or represent our base 10 blocks using pictorial form. So it might be different. Some teachers might do things a little differently, but they're all going to be very similar to this. I'm going to show you a way to draw them so that it's easy. So whenever you're taking apart numbers and putting them together, you have an easy way of doing it. For our units with the value of 1, I just draw a little dot. So I know it's 1. I need to make sure I can see it. I can see it. So if I do a quick dot like that, it might be hard to see. I might miscount it. So I want to make sure I draw a good dot that I can count, but doesn't take too long to make. Now when I'm making a rod, all I need to do is draw a line. I draw a line. It kind of looks like a 1, right? But it's not. It's a rod for our picture. It kind of looks like a stick. Whenever I'm saying I'm like, oh, I need to draw 3 sticks, if I had 3 of my rods. Now for our flat, you can probably guess, all I'm going to do is draw a square. It doesn't have to be perfect. Does not have to be perfect. My squares usually aren't perfect, but I know that that's what they are representing. A square. Now this next one. So if we're representing something that's 3-dimensional, right? This is a cube, a 3-dimensional figure. With that being said, it's kind of hard to draw 3-dimensional figures, especially fast. So I'm going to show you guys a shortcut on how to draw this. You draw that square from our 100 square. And then what you're going to do is you're going to draw a little backwards L. You're going to draw a second line underneath the bottom and this way. Or you can do it from the top. You just need to go behind it, behind one of the corners. Now it looks like it could be 3-dimensional. You could even connect the lines if you wanted to. You don't have to do that though. I just like to draw the little line behind it. See, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just need to know. I need to know for myself, for my teacher, and for my friends what if I'm doing the thousands or the hundreds, right? I need to know what I'm representing. And so all I need to do is draw this line so I know it's going to be the thousands unit, not the flat. I'm going to leave this here for a second, see if we want to take a picture or anything. All right, I'm going to take this one down now. Now we are going to practice together a few problems. We're going to do a few problems. So first, I'm just going to use, this is something we can do at home, okay guys? This is something you can do at home. I have a cube. You can use a deck of cards for this, or you could have a brother, sister, mom, dad, cousin, aunt, or you could just make it up yourself, create numbers for you. So I'm going to create a place value chart. I have my ones place, tens, hundreds, and thousands. See? Look how I use my abbreviations. And I'm going to use this dice to, we have a 3. Now I'm going to roll it right here. 4. I can't forget my comma. 3. And a 5. So my number I have right here, 3,435. So I'm going to take this apart and decompose it into pictorial form. I like to start with my ones. I'm going to draw 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to double check because everyone can make mistakes. I want to make sure I did the right amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Now I'm going to draw 3 rods, 3 lines to represent 30. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 tens. Now I have 4 hundreds. So now I'm going to use those squares I did earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, they don't have to be perfect. I just need to get my idea across. And now I have 3 thousands. 1, and see, I'm going to draw that line behind it. 2, 3. I have 3 thousands, 4 hundreds, 30, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Now let's try 1. Excellent job, guys. Okay, so now you can practice this at home. Thank you for staying through this lesson. I hope that you guys have a great day, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Bye.